The room went silent. Every eye in the hall seemed to be fixed on JD Vance, the Ohio senator known as much for his sharp wit as for his humble upbringing. But today, the air was charged with something far heavier than politics. It was tension, fear, and anticipation. At the podium across from him stood Senator Elizabeth Warren, her expression unreadable, her gaze fixed like a hawk on her prey. The whispers began almost immediately. Did she just threaten him? JD Vance felt a familiar knot tighten in his stomach, but he straightened, exhaling slowly. He had faced criticism before, been attacked publicly for his books, his opinions, and even his upbringing. But this felt different. Warren, a political heavyweight and a seasoned fighter in the Senate, had just hinted at something personal, something calculated to destabilize him. "You better watch yourself, Vance," she said quietly but clearly enough for the room to hear. "Some doors you open can't be closed." The threat wasn't explicit, but it carried weight. It wasn't just political maneuvering, it was a warning. A test. A challenge. Vance's mind raced, replaying every interaction, every conversation, every moment that might have made him vulnerable. But then something shifted inside him. A calm replaced the panic. He realized that fear was exactly what she wanted. She wanted him to flinch, to doubt himself, to falter in front of an audience that was hanging on every word. He paused, letting her words hang in the air like smoke. The room was completely still now. Cameras were rolling, microphones capturing every heartbeat. Then JD Vance leaned forward, his voice steady, calm, and measured. "You misunderstand me, Senator," he said, his eyes locking with hers. "I don't close doors, I open windows." A murmur ran through the room. Some didn't immediately get it, while others leaned forward, sensing the power behind the words. In one sentence, he had deflected the threat, reframed the narrative, and claimed the moral high ground. He hadn't reacted with anger, nor with aggression. He had responded with clarity, wit, and unshakable confidence. Warren's lips tightened, a subtle crack in the armor of a woman who rarely showed vulnerability. For a moment, she looked taken aback, unprepared for a response that wasn't defensive, that didn't escalate into conflict. She had tried to intimidate, but JD Vance had done something far more effective. He had humiliated her with composure. The room erupted with quiet astonishment, a different kind of applause, the kind that spoke not to cheer but to recognition. JD had turned a moment meant to intimidate him into a masterclass in presence and self-possession. Later, in private, JD reflected on what had just happened. He thought about the people who had inspired him throughout his life, his grandparents who had raised him in a small Rust Belt town, the teachers who had believed in him when others had written him off, and the mentors who had taught him that